Hi everyone, I hope everyone is doing wonderful. Today let's solve this problem from LeetCode, which is a best time to buy and sell stock. So the question says you are given an array prices where prices of I is the price of a given stock on the ith day. So basically with what it's saying is we have given prices, which is basically an array, and then each of these price represents the price of the stock on a random day. Let's say this is Sunday, Monday. Sunday has a price of 7. Monday the price has been decreased to 1. So it goes like that. And it says you want to maximize your profit by choosing a single day to buy one stock and choosing a different day in the future to sell the stock. So the question is asking us to find the maximum profit, or the question also says best time to buy and sell the stock, and we have to maximize the profit in such a way that, let's say we buy at 7, we have to sell in a random day, whichever day is good, that gives us the maximum profit. So let's say if I sell at 7, I don't have any members, or I don't have any stock day that I can sell to get the maximum profit. But let's say if I sell it, if I buy it one day, Monday, and then let's say if I sell it on this day, 6th day. Now if I subtract the value from 6 to 1, it's going to be 5, and that's going to be the maximum profit that we can get from buying 1 and selling at 6. The question is also says the output is 5, and then the explanation says buy on day 2, which is price 1, and sell on day 5, which is day price 6. Profit would be 5. Note that buying on day 2 and selling on day 1 is not allowed. Oh yeah, so I mean, if we buy it 2 and we cannot sell it 1, I mean it basically says we cannot reverse the order, I guess. You must buy before you sell. Alright, so how do you think you can solve this kind of particular problem? Well, the idea is to basically find the minimum value that we can buy the particular stock. In this particular example, we thought that this one would be the best buy because this is the minimum, right? And then in each of that, we have to find minimum at each step and then maximize the profit in that step. So I have just solved this question in LeetCode, and so I have written down some of the steps that I followed. So I will also show you and walk you all through from this example. So as you can see here, I have noted down this particular array here, which is basically this array 715364. I have noted down here, let's say you bought the stock at 5 and you sold the stock at sale. That represents you made a profit of maximum, that is 5. And this arrow says maximize the profit, right? So you have to maximize the profit. So how would you do that? Well, simply in your first day, let's say this is your first day, right? 7th day, you start the iteration using a for loop, and then in that first day you assume that that's going to be the best buy. That means you buy the stock on that particular day. Now from the next iteration from 1, calculate the profit. You simply subtract 1 from 7 and then compare that with maximum profit that you have so far. You will also initialize maximum profit, which is max, and then best buy as 2 variables. You store maximum profit and best buy here initially, and it says update the best buy. You have to update the best buy so far in each iteration. So I have the code here. It says best buy, which is int max, that basically is infinity. Think about it, best buy should always be minimum, right? But why have I declared maximum, which is infinity here? Well, that simply means, let's say infinity is the largest value that we can have, right? Now let's say you start with the iteration of infinity. Now you compare with infinity. It's 7 less than infinity? If that's the case, then you assign best buy to be 7. That's why we started with the infinity to compare with our stock price to make it lower. And same goes for max profit too. We have initialized it to be negative infinity, and then if we calculate our max profit by subtracting the next value with the first value, and we compare with negative infinity, and that's basically going to give us the maximum profit. Now you see it here. I have started my for loop from I equals 0 till it goes to all of the prices. Now if stock of I, which basically represents if 7, right, our stock is like this, 7, what's the full value, 15364, 7, 1, 5, 3, 6 and 4. If stock of I, which is 7, is less than best buy is our infinity, we have defined it here, which is infinity. If that's the case, this is true, right, this is true, then best buy is simply gonna be 7, which is stock of I. You see it here. Now after you successfully bought the stock, you immediately exit out from that conditional statement and then maximize the profit. How do you maximize the profit? Well, you greedily maximize the profit at each step. That basically, I think it's a greedy problem. So you maximize your profit at each step, which simply means you would calculate stock of I is basically 7 and your best buy is also 7, right? You compare it with the maximum profit that you have so far, which is basically negative infinity, right? Maximum profit is assigned as negative infinity right here. Now what is this value? This value is 0 comma negative infinity, which will simply give you 0. Now at this point you have a maximum profit of 0. Now you go here again. Your iteration is right now here at 1. Now you check if stock of I, which is basically 1, is less than best buy. What is your best buy? Best buy is 7, right? 1 is less than 7. If that's the case, you simply assign best buy to be 1. Now you again try to maximize the profit. How do you maximize the profit? Well, you simply subtract 1 from the whatever best buy, that is your 0, comma, oh no, my bad, best buy is 1. I just assigned best buy to be 1. And then you compare that with the maximum profit that you have gained so far, which is basically 0. At this point also you have stored maximum profit to be 0. Now you again go to your array and check what's the next value. Next value is 5. If that's the case, you compare with the best buy. Your best buy is 1. 5 less than 1? No, that's not the case. Then if not the case, then best buy will simply not change. It's gonna be 1. Then again, after you try to maximize the profit in this case too, what is your stock of I? Stock of I is 5, right? 5 minus best buy. What is your best buy? Best buy has been assigned as 1. So 5 minus 1 is going to be 4. Now you compare 4 with 0, which is maximum. This 4 is maximum, right? If that's the case, you assign maximum to be 4 in this particular case. Now you go to number 3 and then check if 3 is less than 1. Nope. Then our best buy will simply be 1 again. You again try to maximize the profit. You go to stock of I, which is basically 3, and then you decrease the value by 1, which is going to be 2, and then these 2 will be compared with this maximum profit. But since 2 is not maximum, then 4, our max profit will still be 4. Now you go to 6. Finally you go to 6. At this particular case, you compare 6 less than 1, because 1 is our best buy, but that's not the case, right? So best buy still is 1, because you bought that at the minimum price. You are not selling it until you find less value than that. Now you try to maximize the profit here. Stock of I is basically 6 minus best buy, you have 1, which is going to be 5, and you compare that with the maximum profit that you have so far, 5 comma 4. What is the maximum value between 5 and 4? That is simply 5, right? So that is your best maximum profit right now. Now you haven't completed the final calculation yet. You still have to calculate for 4. What is the best buy for 4? 4 is compared with 1, and this won't execute. Now you try to maximize the profit again by simply 4 minus 4, it's going to be 3. 3 comma maximum profit, which is going to be 5, but that's not the case. Then our maximum profit will be 5. After that, you simply return the value from the return max profit. This will return 5. Alright, let's code this up in LeetCode, and it's going to be again easier for you all to remember. If it is not easy, if you are finding yourself hard to understand this problem, just revert back the question and watch it so slowly, then you will understand it. Alright, I'm back here in LeetCode to solve this problem. We have to initialize our max profit to be integer of minimum. And why do we do that? We simply do this because we are maximizing the profit at each step. So we initially want to assign it with the negative infinity. Now we also assign based by, which is simply going to be max. Now we start with our first value in our array, which is going to be I equals 0, I less than prices dot size, and then I plus plus. First of all, calculate the best buy. If current stock's price is less than my best buy, right? My best buy is infinity. My current stock price is 7. If that's the case, then I will simply assign my best buy to be prices of I. Now right after that, I want also to calculate the maximum profit that I can get. So maximum profit is going to be max profit. Now I will check, is current price, right, prices of I minus best buy that I have done so far is greater than maximum? If that's the case, then what would you do? You will simply assign that value to our maximum profit. Now this will calculate for every single member. Then after that we will return the maximum profit. Alright, let's check this, if this will simply run or not. Before that, let's check if we have anything missing or if we have done anything wrong. I don't think we have done anything wrong. I think this code should run smoothly. Let's submit this. I misspelled here. Best buy. Let's see. Ooh, it says compilation error. Max profit is going to be maximum. Forgot the max profit here. My bad. So sorry about that. Alright. Everything has ran successfully. Now finally let's submit it, if it's gonna submit or not. Preparing runtime environment. Alright, we're not 100% true, but we are here. But that's the best optimal solution, I guess. Alright, thank you so much for watching my video. I will come with another video so soon. Bye bye.